I'm good.
That's good. How was your trip here? Did you make it okay?
It's kind of hot outside, but I'm fine.
It sure is, and I have on black and long sleeves, so you know how I'm feeling it. Can I get you any water or anything?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, it's great. And so my name is Nicole Powell, and you can call me Nicole. Is there a name that you prefer?
You can call me Anita.
Okay,
That's
Anita.
fine.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I'm glad you made it out here today. I want to let you know that here your confidentiality is essential to us, and I want you to feel comfortable talking and know that what you say in this office stays in this office between you and I, unless it pertains to any kind of child abuse or self-hurt, then I am a mandated reporter.
Okay.
So let's get started. Well, I want to get started by asking you a couple of questions just to get to know you, and so we can figure out some services that will best suit your needs. So I love your accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Congo in Central Africa.
Oh, that's great. So how that must have been an interesting transition for you to come out here to the United States. What are some of the immediate differences that you noticed?
Yeah, when I came here, I experienced some social adjustment. The first barrier was the language barrier because I wasn't speak any English. I had the basic like just how are you, good morning, or can I have water, or can I go to the restroom?
Oh wow.
Anything essential.
That must have been a little bit difficult to manage and handle. Yeah.
Yes, it was. And when I first get here, I was living with my aunt and my sister, and it was kind of, I was really trying to go get my own apartment. I came here with my husband with the lottery program that give us a 10-year residency in the United States.
Oh wow, so 10 years of residency, and you came here with your husband, and when you guys first got here, you stayed with your sister, you said?
My sister and my aunt.
Oh,
that was my aunt's house, my sister was there too.
Okay, well at least you had some family to come in and stay with. That was good. Is your sister still here?
Yes, she's still here.
And
She's still living here.
Okay, so you guys have a good relationship, and you are you living with her still?
No, I'm not living with her because recently she got married too. But when we got here after 3 months, we have to move. I moved with my husband. We moved to our own apartment.
Okay.
And we left my aunt, and my sister too left my aunt, and she wanted to live. She's married now.
Right.
She lives with her husband.
Well, that's great. So, two married couples, you guys have date nights often, or do you guys hang out as
It's kind of hard because we have all different schedules. We have to work. I work and I go to school, so it's kind of hard. And I have a son. Sometimes it's hard to find childcare, and then my son stays home or with my husband or me. But sometimes we manage to have some fun.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So you said you had a language barrier when you first got here. How did you conquer that? What were some of the tools that you used to learn the language?
First of all was I know that there was kind of ESL classes in different public library, but I couldn't use it because when I got here I had to work because we have to leave. My husband and I was working. My husband gets some ESL, one of those ESL classes, but I didn't, so I learned at my workplace. I started working in retail. I was in the farmer's market, sometimes interacting with clients. Sometimes they tell you something you don't understand, you look at them, and sometimes you ask them, what does it mean?
Wow.
And they explain to you. I learned basically by myself, and then I decided that I have to go to school to have a degree to find another job because it was really rough.
Right. It must be very hard. I was in Germany for a time, and it was very hard just trying to express what I needed or what I wanted, asking how much something cost, and they were like, what are you saying to me? So I commend your strength because you're very fluent in the language now.
But it was hard because, you know, sometimes some client that was like, okay, they understand that you come from another country, they try to help you, but somehow they were getting mad at you, they go report you to the supervisor or to the owner of the market, and you're like in trouble, and it was kind of hard. So that's why I had to learn fast because I was working, I was trying to keep my job, and then...
That must have made you feel pretty frustrated.
Exactly. Yeah.
That people wouldn't be as understanding as you may have been yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Well, at least you got it done and you've mastered that. And so you said you needed to go to school, so that's something that you're doing right now?
Yeah, I'm going to school right now.
And how is that for you with having a child?
Having a child was kind of hard again because when I get the child, when we first got here, there was some many benefits we couldn't have. I couldn't have Medicare because I'm not a citizen. And when I got pregnant, I had to find a solution to go to the doctor appointment and then go somewhere to give birth to my child. And hopefully my child is born here, so he got some benefit. He got the Medicare, and he got the week too.
Okay.
And
yes. So you and your husband weren't able to get some of those health benefits, and it was a struggle to acquire those kind of services where you had to pay out of pocket, or
for all the services, yes. Right. Some services we had to pay out of pocket.
So that must have been a financial burden.
Exactly, because at the end of my pregnancy, I had to stop working, so we were relying on one paycheck from my husband. So
that's very hard.
Very hard.
But I'm sure that it was good to be home with your baby for the first few months.
Exactly.
How much time did you get to spend with your
I spent a lot of time, like 6 months, and during that time, my mom come from back home. I haven't seen her since that time, and she came here. She helped me with the
great.
Exactly. She was really helpful because I was going through, with all those financial problems, I was going through a kind of depression. I didn't know what to do, and my sister, she's younger than me, and she didn't know what to do. So my mom decided just to come here.
That's great.
And she stayed here 6 months with me, and then she stayed 8 months because after 6 months I start school. She was here 2 months with my school, so that's why I didn't stop going to school, because my mom was here and I could manage, and my son was old enough. And my sister was helping me because childcare was a real problem because I couldn't walk.
Yes.
I was just going to school by the time early in the morning, so my sister can stay with me. And I go back to home, my sister can go to her job, or my husband can go, so we have all this rotation.
That sounds like you have a very strong family unit.
Yeah.
And that's very necessary, very important for all the things that we have to do as women with children and just women in general, and especially transitioning. When you got here, you said you stayed with your sister, and she helped you with childcare once you had your son. That's a beautiful thing. You didn't have to stop school, so where are you with your education now? Where are some of the places you hope to go?
I'm going pretty much good. I'm almost at the end because in 1 year I will get my bachelor degree, and I really think I will try to get a job after that, because we really need a real job, because now I can work part-time just to pay the child care exactly for my son, because now my sister is not able to take care of him anymore. She works full-time, my husband works full-time. I have to go to school, so I have to work part-time just to pay the child care.
Right. And how old is your son right now?
My son is 2.
He's 2, okay. So you said that you have a 10-year permanency, a residency here, and so how long have you been here so far?
I've been here since, I think, 4 years and 10 months.
Okay, so almost 5 years now.
Almost 5 years.
And so what's going to happen after the 10-year period? What are some of your plans or goals for that time?
After they give us the 10-year residency, and during those 10 years, after 5 years, we have the possibility of applying for citizenship. But I know that we really think we should apply before getting to the 10 years instead of renew the residency. And the citizenship, applying for the naturalization is probably what we have to do, because after 5 years we have the possibility, but it asks us money too, and the money is not cheaper. It's kind of almost $800 per person, and after that we have to pay for the passports too. So that's we are thinking about that, about the naturalization.
So when it comes down to naturalization, is some of your hesitation based on the amount of or the cost of the process?
Yes.
Or is it maybe you miss home and you want to go back? How are some of your feelings about staying here in the U.S.?
I miss home. I miss home, but if I get the naturalization, I don't think it won't stop me going back home.
Right.
Maybe I won't. I will have to lose my first citizenship because my country doesn't allow two nationality, and so I will have to choose my or this one. So
Is that a conflicting feeling, or is
a little bit, because I feel myself like I'm abandoning my country or something or changing.
right.
But since we live here, since my son is American, so I will probably have to choose to stay here because life is kind of better here than there. Even if I struggle here financially or something in my country, I was kind of middle class and coming here, I'm like low income.
Mhm.
But I'm still thinking that life is better for my son. The education will be better for him,
Okay.
everything. And I think that if we want full benefit for him, we will have to apply for the citizenship so he can get some benefit through us or just
Okay.
for him.
Okay. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, or please help me understand, what are some of the benefits to your naturalization? How would that benefit you and your husband? I understand how it would benefit your son, but...
I could, if I'm really low income, if I have health problem, I could have to apply for the Medicaid.
Okay.
And with the affordable healthcare, I know that in this state is not, they didn't expand the Medicare. I don't really understand what that means.
The Affordable
But,
Care Act?
Yeah,
Yes.
but
So
I think that would be great to have the health benefit for us. And when you and your parents have the citizenship, my son can also benefit from other things like hope or something later.
Okay, that is true. And, okay, so from what I hear from you, you could use some assistance with childcare expenses,
Yes.
couldn't we all? And that you are kind of debating on whether or not you want to do naturalization, and that some of your hesitations are on the financial aspect of it.
Exactly.
What about your husband? How does he feel about the naturalization?
I think you feel the same way. I think sometimes we spoke about that. Since we got to the 5 year, we are eligible to do that. I think we think about that too, but the big problem, like, we are thinking like, should we do it both together or one at a time because it costs money? So
Oh, okay.
the big problem is most financial problem.
Okay, understandable. Right now, are you having any other financial difficulties, like maybe with your rent or food or anything that you might need any assistance with?
Assistance is always welcome, I
Right.
think, because food, when you have to pay for the bill, when you pay your rent, the rent is the first thing we think about. We try
Right.
always to pay our rent, and we don't want to miss power at home or
Yes.
gas. That's what we need, but sometimes the cost, when you pay for all those bills, and then when you start thinking about food, you have to you have only the minimum needs.
Right.
So
Right.
assistance with food would be welcome.
Yes, because with the inflation prices,
Yeah.
it's definitely an asset. Let me ask you, are you renting or are you a homeowner?
I'm renting.
Right, because are you able to do any kind of home ownership without being a citizen?
Not yet.
I'm sure
if
I
I'm
should be a little bit more
not-
knowledgeable about that. It's a concept I haven't quite yet.
Yeah, I think non-citizen, permanent resident has the right to be owner too. We can have mortgage and then
Okay.
become owner.
Do you like the neighborhood that you're in or the housing that you're in?
Yeah, I live in Stone Mountain. Before that, when I got here, I was living in Clarkston. It's not very far. There is a big variety of immigrants in there. There is refugee. There is other people coming for permanent residence too. And after that, we just moved because the price of the rent is kind of the same.
Okay.
Where I live, that's a nice neighborhood.
Right. And you said, so your rent, when you first got your first place in Clarkston is about the same as what you're paying now.
Yes, it's
But
about the same.
you like the neighborhood a little bit better?
I like the neighborhood better.
In Clarkston, you said that there was a lot of other immigrants, a lot of other refugees. Was that a source of help? Did you find that you all were able to help each other out?
Yeah, we were helping each other out, but the neighborhood the criminality could start coming in the neighborhood, because I don't know if they knew that there was only refugee, and sometimes they don't know how to lock the door, and it's dangerous. There was people who get
taken advantage of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we decided with my husband, since we have a child,
yes, you have to,
we decided to move.
Yeah, you have to protect your young ones, definitely. So, were you able to acquire or keep any friends from that neighborhood? Do you have a strong friend base? Do you have a lot of female friends that you can maybe go out to lunch with, or?
Not really.
It's more
because
family?
Yeah, I spend most of my time with my family, because I have the sister that was here before me, and then one of my older sister came here also with the permanent residency program. But in the friends, there is a thing with the immigrant and refugee community, and usually they spend most of the time trying to meet the basic needs. So they spend most of the time working, or keeping their children at home, taking care of the children. So fun is not really. I'm not saying that they don't have fun, but I found out that myself when I was really at that time. You spend most of your time working, trying to take two, or some of them have 3 jobs. So they're focused more on working, so I don't really have many friends from.
You really don't find time to socialize.
Exactly.
And neither do most other people.
But sometimes they have those things, like in the Clarkson community, they know that that's refugee, and maybe the Ethiopian community, they organize some festival or something. That's the thing when we can go and meet with people usually. Or at church on Sunday. Okay,
so you do you attend church regularly?
Yeah, I attend church regularly. I go to the Corpus Christi Church. It's at Stone Mountain, so now it's close to me.
Okay. Well, that's good. It sounds like you have a strong foundation, and you seem like a very resilient, strong woman to me, who has overcome a lot of obstacles, and you're continuing to advance yourself. And so I do believe that some of these struggles will diminish, and things will get better. It's all about planning and organizing and getting some of those resources that are available to you and to your son. As we go forward, I will be asking you some more questions a little bit. Well, there'll probably be some documentation I need you to bring in. I'll ask you some things about your income, but I'm only asking these questions so that we can get you some of these services, because a lot of services are based on how much money you're making, how much income is coming into the family. But I do want you to be aware that if you're, say for instance, denied for federal child care, that you don't need to be discouraged, because there's also lots of places that have play groups for moms. And I think that possibly creating a circle of close, immediate friends who, like you did when you were with your sister, can say help you in the morning and you help them in the evening, or you guys can switch out on the weekends. It's just a matter of thinking outside of the box. So we can have many different options, and I know for a fact that your son will more than likely be able to get into the Georgia Pre-K funded lottery program when he's 4 years old. When is your son turning 3?
In July.
Okay, so in a couple of months he'll be 3. So by next year he can at least get into the preschool program and start that education, or and that'll give you some time to continue to work on your schooling and your job. So you said that when you graduate you're going to go ahead and start working. Do you have in mind what field you want to go to, what direction you want to go to? Have you
Yeah,
searching?
I think about, since I'm myself an immigrant and I know the struggle many immigrants goes to, I think I want to work with immigrants to help them too.
Oh, and I'm sure you would provide a great help to them because you've learned the language, you can kind of navigate them. It sounds like you've had about 3 different jobs in the last 5 years.
Yes.
And that is very commendable. I know that you worked hard to do that, and you overcame that language barrier to get in the door, because there's a lot of Americans who don't have jobs or can't get them, or they go through these long stints. So I applaud you and your husband for coming over here and staying strong. But I do think that you and your husband will both benefit from possibly a savings plan.
Okay.
And like you said, it would be good for you all to maybe think about doing it a little bit earlier, not waiting until the 10-year and then have to find yourself in such a financial crisis. So tell me, what are some of your any other personal goals that you would like to work on, or if those things sound about right? Or
yeah, I think we should definitely, as you say, I think we should work now on applying for the citizenship, the naturalization process, and then try to get it before the 10-year.
Right.
Instead of waiting. We should start saving, as you said.
And there are lots of programs that can yield you higher returns on the money that you save, like CDs, and also there are programs that will sometimes match your savings dollar for dollar, and you can use that money towards a car, home, education. And they usually just have you take maybe like a class or 2 on financial literacy, and you can get into those kind of programs. So those are some of the things that when you come back, I'll make sure that I have the information for you so that I can better explain it to you, and we can see if that's something that you want to start or when you want to start. Because my job here is to take your goals and do everything in my power to find the resources that are going to allow you to obtain that. So until we meet again, I will be working on figuring out or finding some child care resources for you.
Okay, thank you.
I will also be looking for some savings resources for you that have a return on the profit, as well as maybe we can get some more information on the naturalization, and I'll see more of how you feel about that. We can set up some kind of timetables or some dates, some achievable goals. You know, we start out simple, but planning ahead of time sometimes makes all the difference. So I, again, applaud you for your strength, and I know you'll continue to be strong. And if you have any other thoughts or feelings, or you feel like something is frustrating, or you just need some advice or some assistance, feel free to call. You have my card. And we'll meet here again. How's 2 weeks for you?
Oh, in 2 weeks is fine.
Okay. And we'll get that together. So, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I'm pretty much satisfied today. And
Good.
In 2 weeks, I will come if I have some other question or some other goals.
Okay. That's great. Well, I'm glad that we could find some things to work on for you, and hopefully when those things start, then we can move forward and we can have more goals, and we can continue to make some of our dreams into reality.